Sagittarius, hey, thanks for dropping in with me. We are here to do the weekly dive into your collective energy, just to see what's coming up on your path. We got a little bit different of a focus this week, though, because we do have a full moon lunar eclipse coming up in Libra on the 25th, okay, just around the corner here. And it's an important one that's kicking off an important cycle in terms of the nodes of destiny, because following that, we have a new moon on April 8th in the North Node ruler at this time, which is Aries, okay? And that's a solar eclipse, total solar eclipse. So we're going to do a little look at what's coming in here that needs to be addressed. What are you bringing to a close? Because there's some cycle you're closing up that connects back to the last lunar eclipse we had in 2023, which went down on October 28th. So something's coming back around the bend. We also got Mercury retrograde energy coming in this time period. And, you know, there's a lot that can't be seen, but there's something that's shifting here that's setting you up for a new beginning. So let's see what it's about and let's dive right into it. This is for any significant Sagittarius placement. Also, if you happen to have a prominent placement in the ninth house, or if you are a Gemini rising, that makes you a Sagittarius descendant, and you may find resonance with this message. So let's see what is coming in for Sagittarius. Ooh, you're moving out of a period of kind of like isolation, I feel, all right? You may have been spending a lot of time to yourself. You may have been kind of hiding out from people. Maybe you've been trying to actively avoid some people. You've just been wanting to spend some time on your own. I think that you've enjoyed that, all right? Maybe you were dealing with some people that you felt were trying to pry into your business a little bit too much. There may have been 3 people specifically who'd been kind of hanging around, just sort of fishing for information. You knew what they were up to. They weren't getting away with anything. I think there's also been some secrets that have been going around. Oh, isn't this interesting? I just noticed a 4th off to the side, okay? So maybe there is one that kind of eluded you. Maybe this is somebody who's still kind of been hanging around, getting some intel, all right? You might have some eyes on you at this time, but I do feel like you're ready to get back out into the flow of life again. I think that you just needed some time out. You just needed a chance to kind of rest, recharge, get some insight into your next steps for moving forward, I got. So let's see what's coming in here. We're opening up with the super awesome future deck to get a baseline. Okay, so we know that you're moving out and about, back into the flow of life again. For those of you who have been single, you might actually be in a position where you're opening up to new opportunities, okay? I do feel, though, where you were planning on going on some kind of trip, you are deciding to put that on hold for a bit, okay? You might not be sure if this is the right time for that. It might be a timing issue. I also feel like going on this trip requires you to face something squarely that you're not quite ready to look at yet. You notice on this card here for the rider, the man is riding an ostrich, okay? So when we're looking at the ostrich is a totem about power. It's also about moving forward really rapidly. And of course, the ostrich sometimes puts their head in the sand. So when this is in reverse, there's something you're still not looking at. You're not quite in the power position you'd like to be able to move something forward. Again, I think you need more insight into a situation. I think you're well aware that there's a lot that still is kind of like lingering beneath the surface of a situation. And this may be what's getting revealed to you, all right? This could have something to do with a house, all right? Or maybe some change of residence that you're considering making. You're not sure if it's the right time for this, or you need more details to come in regard to this. There could be something going on with a living situation that, you know, it's sort of hanging in the balance. It hasn't been closed out yet. I think maybe there were things that kind of revealed a little bit of instability in the living situation, perhaps back there in October with this 28 energy coming in 10, okay? There's something that needs to be addressed on the home front before you can kind of go out and maybe hit the road and do some exploring, maybe explore a new direction you want to head in, potentially a move, all right? Yeah, there's definitely stuff going on at home, okay? Things have been a little strange at home, actually. It may look like everything is all good on the surface. I think you're really good at keeping up appearances, all right? But I can see there's been a lot of arguments going on at home. Actually, these arguments may have started sometime back last summer, particularly back in August, okay? We got 8 around that, 8 energy around that. So these arguments could have been something to do with finances potentially, okay? There could have been a Leo involved that was connected to these arguments. It's also possible that there was just like an imbalance of power, like you're in 2 different minds about the way things should be handled on the home front. This matter is still unresolved. I mean, I do feel like it's sort of like it's been tabled, but nobody's really willing to look at this issue. I do feel like you're being called somewhere else, you know, you want to change things. You don't want to continue on in the same situation you've been in. All right, let's see what this is about. I do feel like there was some kind of trip on the horizon that you've decided to just like hold off on for the time being, though. You're not ready to go on this trip yet. You got home matters to tend to right now, right? You need to get more stability on the home front. All right, what do we got going on here? We have the Queen, okay? Hawk medicine coming in there. Yeah, look at this. Look, there's the travel piece again with the wish in reverse, okay? Yeah, there's something you're reviewing here. You don't want to set your sights in the wrong direction. And look at this. We have the broken mirror in reverse, okay? So it's interesting here. If you look, you know, this is a card that has a lot to do with like a bad luck cycle. Of course, there's the implications of some magic being thrown around. I do feel like in the case where you have been dealing with somebody of the witchy persuasion who's been, you know, strong arming in that regard, it's like a flip it up and reverse it kind of moment. Okay. Whatever was cast is whipping back around. All right. You'll have to pick what side you're on of that. If you did any casting, you might be dealing with some backlash with that. Maybe that's what that's about, something coming back around. If not, and somebody was directing this energy your way, you know, do expect them to have to own their actions in this regard. I got somebody doing like mirror magic in particular. This is going to cause them to have to look at their own reflection there. I got an antique mirror. An antique mirror. Yeah. I don't know why that's coming in so strongly, but it really is, all right? It really is. What do we got on these die? I haven't noticed this before. Oh, snake eyes. Yes, okay. So something could be whipping back around in that regard. All right. Again, I got a message. It's kind of like 2 different camps here, okay? 2 different camps here. Some Saggies have been, you know, playing around on that level, and some haven't. You know, they've been the target of those arrows. So you just have to pick what side you're on in regard to this. At the center of all this, it's you, okay? And your desire to just really be in that place where you are the ruler of your roost. I got that, you know? I think that you kind of want things to be a certain way at home. You also want to feel like you get to call the shots at home. And in some way, you've been dealing with some kind of inequity. Things haven't felt stabilized at home. And I feel like you're really just wanting to get away from where you're at right now. You may have been a homebody recently, but I do think that pretty soon here, once you line things up, you'll be ready to go on that trip, kind of get out and about and explore. But I think maybe you've been dealing with some challenges. Some of you have been dealing with some reversal energy, okay? Maybe you set some things in motion back there that weren't like with the highest intention, and because of that, you're kind of dealing with some unfortunate obstacles that you have to wait to get out of the way. Others of you have been dealing with particularly, I got like a witchy type person, okay, that's been purposefully throwing different like obstacles in your path, perhaps preventing you from going forward or moving in a certain direction that, you know, you want to go in. Maybe they want you to feel out of your element, out of your power. Maybe they have worked on you on a different level. Maybe they've worked on you on the level of trying to sway the way you're viewing a situation and just kind of feeding your fears rather than encouraging you to head in a direction that looks like moves you out of a situation where right now you just feel like you're just in a tense dynamic. It looks like there's a lot of tension where you're at. Your living situation seems tense for some reason, okay? You might have been putting off, going out and, exploring other options also because for one reason or another, like I said, you had to stay put, okay? There was some kind of restriction, some kind of restraint that was put on you. This could be financially, all right? Or just dealing with one challenge after another. It's got kind of thwarting energy. I also feel like there's this piece here where you haven't really wanted to face something squarely. You haven't wanted to deal with this matter head on. And so you've been kind of hiding out a little bit. You may even feel like, it's a case of be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. You may have made a wish back there. You realize what you wished for was not all it was cracked up to be. It ended up being a gilded cage. Interesting, okay? I think something that at one point seemed like it was a dream come true has kind of become a bit of a nightmare. Just sort of one of these things where it's like, this is not what I was hoping for. This is not what I was wanting this to be, all right? So there's some kind of rerouting energy going on here. And I believe this is stuff that all kind of got kicked off for you back in August, all right? I'm picking that up, August of last year. And now it's coming back around the bend. Something needs to be righted in this situation. I do think that you have the ability to get things balanced out, and I think this has a lot to do with some kind of mutual respect and getting on the same page as another person. And there needs to be some kind of meeting of the minds here and also meeting of spirit. And I think you have a lot of spiritual communication coming in around this. This could be even somebody that you're needing to iron out things with, but you have not had the ability to actually talk to this person. You may feel like you have more of a telepathic connection with this person. It's like your souls are in communication, but you're actually not talking with each other. Hawk medicine coming in strongly here, all right? Hawk in Native American birth totem astrology is related to the sign of Aries, so there could be an Aries connection. There could be this meeting of minds coming in on the new moon on April 8th, since that's an Aries new moon. Do look for signs and synchronicities around this. I do feel like there's some kind of alignment coming into play that's supposed to, I think it's like this vibe of it's like rerouting, a combination of, just a stroke of kind of like some rough luck, just like a difficult hand of fate that was dealt. For some of you, I have to say, you did have somebody of the witchy persuasion that was like throwing stuff on your path. Somebody was doing some workings that were causing some issues. In that case, I do feel like that is whipping back around, but I feel like you're getting just about to the other side of this. I feel like that energy is being cleared out. All right. And you know what side of that you're on. When we're doing collective reads, okay, it's dealing with a lot of people. So it's always a matter of pick what side you're on. I do pick up that some Saggies were, they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar, you know what I'm saying? And so now it's like you got to sweep up the crumbs. All right. And if that's the case, I think that you've had a long, hard look in the mirror and you're thinking about it, a little bit differently now, you maybe, we're directing things in the wrong direction too. You might be realizing that you didn't have an accurate view of a situation as new things have come to light. Okay. For others of you, you've actively had somebody who's causing problems for you. And I feel like that energy is whipping back around. That person's going to have to own those actions for sure. But whatever was blocking, I feel like something is coming into alignment, but you know, something needs to be cleared up first. There needs to be some old energy needs to be cleared out. I do recommend that if you are somebody who works on an alchemical level, if you got old workings, you know, remnants of candles you burned and such hanging around your space, it's time to clear all that energy out. Yes, clear all that energy out, okay? When we look at hawk medicine too, it's not just messages from spirit and synchronicity, but it's also boundaries. I call it Talon magic, okay? So there might be some people in particular that you need to lay down some boundary lines with, maybe people that are just too up in your business, right? Too up in your business. All right, let's do a cut of the deck, and then we're going to pull out, I think, the occult tarot for you, because this is coming in pretty strongly. Look at this. Yeah, secret society vibes here. Okay, this is a more esoteric read for Sagittarius this week. All right, there's definitely some stuff going on behind the scenes, some stuff that's been, you know, kind of hiding in the dark. Look at the scarab here. Okay, hermetic magic, perhaps. Okay, I think there's a lot that's been happening here. It's got vibes of like people working at odds against each other, you know. There's a lot going on here that is hidden, and there's definitely like some intel. There's a bit of a conflict that's involved in this situation, and in fact this conflict may involve a group of people, but I feel like it's really been affecting you personally on the home front. It's possible too that there could be some division that was created within the home because of outside interference, perhaps because of something that was being kept secret. All right. You definitely have some snakes in the grass around you for sure, though. There are some people here who are not being totally honest with you. I also believe that you do have the ability to transform this energy, but I feel like this is kind of what's coming to a head. So I almost feel like things are going to be outed to you. You're going to start to get an idea of who's been doing what, you know? Where do you need to kind of like do some cleanup? Where do you need to clear some people out of your private sphere too? You start getting a different view when you keep running into certain challenges, and you know, you keep getting these strange feelings around certain people, like, do you really have my back? Like, are we cool? Like, I think you need to start really looking with more of a shrewd awareness at the people that are around you, because not everybody is on the up and up with you. Okay, and there's definitely people here who they have their own motives in this situation. There is some kind of conflict here for sure, and I do see religious forces at work, spiritual forces at work. I mean, to me, this is a clear indication of somebody's throwing something around. Oh yeah, look at this. I mean, you got some rats in the mix here. Okay, you do, and somebody's definitely trying to pull a fast one and get away with something here. And in fact, you might be able to mark who that person is, because all of a sudden this person's just like ghosting the scene. Where'd you go, man? Wait a minute here. What's up with that? I was just talking to you the other day, and now you ran off. You know, this could even be somebody who's trying to run away with something that belongs to you, okay? Rip you off. You can look at that many different levels. Rip you off emotionally, rip you off financially, okay? Swoop in and try to claim something that, you know, you feel is like earmarked for you by spirit. There's definitely some underhanded vibes going on here. But again, on the 8th, okay, this is coming in so strong for you. April 8th, that new moon in Aries, something is being rectified here. So you're going into this place of transformation. And, you know, that snake that's been working against you, they're going to be eating themselves. Okay, we got Ouroboros energy here. I also take this as a sign that before you can really manifest your new direction moving forward, there's something you still need to digest from the old cycle. And that needs to happen. You know, it has to be brought to a close before you can bring this into alignment. And to me, it's coming into alignment with a certain somebody that you're meant to connect with, okay? This is somebody that you have a real like soul level connection with. There's a spiritual connection here. There's also a spiritual matter at play in this situation. But you know, it's got big Hunger Game kind of vibes here. And definitely, you know, somebody is, you know, on the take and others are being left to starve in this situation. So it's really got like every man for themselves kind of vibes, right? And I think you're already aware of this, okay? I think you're already aware. I think you've already had to pull your energy back from certain people. I think you're already aware that, you know, things need to shift on the level of the home environment, you know. There needs to be some peace, some restoration brought on the home front. I also feel like, you know that you need to move in a new direction. And for some of you, you know you need to move. But at the same time, there's something you're not wanting to deal with here. It's like there's something you're not wanting to look at. For some of you, there's somebody that you know that you can't trust, but it's hard to really acknowledge that. It's hard to really like accept that truth. And so you're choosing to kind of like turn a blind eye to it, even though it's only going to sabotage you in the end. There's only one way to deal with this, and that's to face it squarely. All right, we're going to pull out the glow in the dark tarot here. Yeah, there's a definitive choice that needs to be made here with the Lovers. Could be a Gemini in the mix in this situation. You can't just stay straddling the fence, okay? So you got to make a firm decision in this case. You got to pick which side you're on. You know, sometimes people can create a lot of problems that way by sort of like playing both ends to the middle. I do feel like you need to make a definitive situation. A definitive situation. Well, it needs to be a definitive situation. You need to define it. You need to make a definitive decision here. You know, something needs to be made very clear. You got to draw certain lines in the sand. And I feel like that's not what's happening. You're trying to like keep everybody happy. You're trying to like get along with everybody. And in doing so, it's actually creating more complication in a situation. You just need to pick what side you're on and be solid on it. You know, you need to be solid on it. And if you know something's wrong, you know, you got to be willing to take a stand. You got to face it squarely. You got to speak up. You know, you got to speak your truth. And then if that means you got to cut off certain connections, you do, right? But something needs to be restored here because something ain't right, all right? And it feels like whatever it is really affecting you on the home front, okay? So something needs to be balanced out. I do feel like you're going to bring it back into alignment. All right. I also feel like where there's financial concerns, those will be ironed out. I see all of that really kicking off with the new moon. But what's coming in this time period with the Libra full moon is that you're going to be kind of like digesting everything that was left to sit and just kind of fester back there. All right. So there's stuff that you're going to have to look at. There's difficult conversations you're going to have. There's emotions that you need to let yourself experience. There's certain fears that you need to face, all right? You can't just keep your head in the sand. You got to look at things as they are and make the necessary changes. But by you doing this, you end up stepping into your power. And then I feel from there, you'll be able to really turn this energy around. It's interesting because you might actually be suffering more from a kind of crossed condition rather than something actually being put on you. You know, sometimes if you feed the fear, then the fear rules you. So you call it bad luck, or you say somebody must be doing some kind of working against me, but it's actually you working against yourself from an unwillingness to really face a problem head on and instead kind of allow this sort of like intrigue to brew, you know, and have all these people, you know, kind of whispering in corners and coming up with their own narrative around your life. I mean, I do feel like that's why you pulled your energy back. You have too many nosy people butting into your business, and there's too much secrecy around you in this situation. So yeah, look at this. This has a lot to do with love, you know, and it's like there's some opportunity here that's been spilled out. And I think a lot of it has to do with fear. There's some new emotional beginning. that was desired. Oh my goodness, now everything comes out. Okay, now Sag wants to talk about it. Look at this. Fear. Fear is what's holding you back in this regard. There's anxiety here. There's having trouble sleeping at night because you got too much on your mind. You know what's happening here is not working for you and something needs to shift. There's been a lot of, ooh, look at that. It just wanted to fly out of my hand. There's been a lot of disruption that's been occurring on the home front. Okay, something's been very disappointing here. And there was a point when you felt very much like large and in charge on your stuff. Things felt really stable at home, but some kind of toxic element has been allowed to creep in, and it's been tainting things. It's been tainting things where there once was union. There's some kind of secretiveness going on here that's causing issues. Okay, something's hidden. You can feel it. It's not right. And I have to say, in some cases where you suspect that somebody is throwing something around and trying to create division between you and another, or trying to create division or instability in your household, there is a high priestess here. And right on the other side, we got the Hierophant. Okay, so to me, this is a big yes card with the Hierophant showing up upright. This is somebody who could have strong Taurus, Pisces, Cancer in the chart. We got Capricorn here. Got all the earth sign energies, Virgo in the mix as well, okay? The thing is, here's your energy. You are here. If you are an Ophiuchus, okay, Sagittarian born November 30th through December 18th, you know about this devil. You're well aware about this devil, and you are on their tail, okay? I do feel like you are going to transform this energy, and you're going to get things moving where you have felt blocked. You will be victorious in this regard, and you will preserve your security, all right? I think you're already on this. You know who you have to look out for. I do have to say you're probably dealing with a fixed sign energy in this regard. We got Taurus, we got Leo, we got Scorpio, we got Aquarius. But there is something that's going to move here, and it's going to turn around in your favor. So I do feel like where you feel like there's been some kind of obstacles thrown in your path, this energy is on the move, all right? And then once this is on the move, you'll be able to move forward emotionally in the direction you want to head in and get things on the right page. Let me do a cut of the deck to close this out for you, Sag. Yep. Okay. So right now, things are kind of slow. Things have been halted. There's some direction you wanted to head in. You've wanted a new beginning. You've wanted to see growth. You've wanted to see some kind of flourishing, but things have been really stalled out. I see that's about to turn around, okay? It's about to turn around because you're catching the person who's been getting in your way and creating this instability. Look at this all pouring in here. Oh my goodness, okay? So again, this is what's fishy here. We got somebody who's probably coming off as a friendly character, but something here ain't quite right. Could be water sign energy. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, look at this. 7 of Swords. Somebody's been sneaky. They've been trying to get away with some shady stuff here. But you're bringing an end to this with the Death, strong Scorpio indications here. This is where the instability and holdups have been coming from. But once you address this, once you clear it out, bam, look at this, sitting pretty. Finances looking good. Home back to the place it needs to be. And you also feeling like you're balanced, you're in your strength, you're in your health. So looks like you got some work to do to unravel a certain somebody who's been throwing obstacles on your path. And where you do suspect this person,